A Latin American Music Guide. Latin American Music Info. Latin American music is the term used when referring to music from the Spanish or Portuguese-speaking countries of Mexico, most of Central and South America, and the Caribbean islands. These areas has indigenous people there. Spanish and Portuguese people settled there, and a bunch of Africans, Indians and Asians showed up too, so now the music and dance is an eclectic mix of many styles. Latin American music has a strong percussion sound. Many Latin American bands use bongo drums, congas, tall drums played with the hand, claves, two rounded sticks hit together, shakers, scrapers, cowbells, small drums played with sticks. As I grew up, I watched Ricky Ricardo play the conga drums on the Lucy show. Then in the 1980s, Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine came out with a string of hits. If you go to Latin America, there are lots of traditional Latin American bands around with the congas, several guitars, and brass instruments. Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass was a Latin band brought to America. I've seen Latin bands live playing on a street corner. They wear classic suits that a Latino band would wear, a tailored suit with cool embroidery plus the sombrero hats. They have their own style of music. They're happy with it. They don't care about pop or rock and roll. In today's world, it's a breath of fresh air to see groups playing their own music without regard for the mainstream commercialized airwaves. Some Latinos are moving into rap and pop, but if you listen to the Latino radio stations, they have their own style of music, not like we're English pop music. There's a lot of accordion music there too. Some of the most popular forms of Latin music are salsa, bachata, regional Mexican music, tango, merengue, Latin pop, and reggaeton. Reggaeton combines reggae and American hip-hop. Some of the most popular artists are Daddy Yankee, Melimal, J Balvin, and Nicky Jam. Latin English bands bring their sounds to an English audience, like Ritmo by the Black Eyed Peas, Whenever, Wherever by Shakery, and Enrique Iglesias, who brought his father's romantic style to the English folk. Even me as an English guy heard of Menudo and the Ketchup Song by Los Ketchup. They're both on youtube.com. I remember there was a blonde Latino pop star in the 1980s singing songs in Spanish. She was famous at the time, but I couldn't find her. I looked through lists of female Latino singers. She's not there. I don't remember her name, but I would recognize it if I saw it. She's been wiped out. It shows you fast music changes. It's a business. There are an endless stream of transient pop stars regardless of culture. Americans in general think that disco music is corny, but the Latinos love it. They're different cultures. Chapter 1. Latin American Music Info. An article on Latin music at en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Latin_music. It goes from the 1940s right up to Shakira and Ricky Martin. An article on Latin American music by country at en.wikipedia.org/wiki/music_of_Latin_America. They dedicate about a paragraph to every country. Styles of Latin music. Afro-Cuban jazz, axe, bachata, banda, bolero, boogaloo, bossa nova, Brazilian rock, briga, bularengue, chicha, coro, criolla, cumbia, fado, flamenco, folk, forró, frevo, funk carioca, grupera, guajira, huayno, lambada, Latin alternative, Latin ballad, Latin Christian, Latin jazz, Latin pop, Latin rock, Latin trap, mambo, maracatu, mariachi, merengue, Mexican son, música criolla, música popular brasileira, música sertaneja, New Mexico music, norteño, nueva canción, pagode, porro, ranchera, reggaeton, regional Mexican, rock en español, rumba, salsa, salsa romantica, samba, samba rock, son, tango, tecnobriga, tejano, timba, traditional, tropical, tropicalia, tropipop, vallenato, zouk lambada. Latin music categories and websites at cali.org/en/arts/music/style/r/regional_and_ethnic/Latin. Subcategories: Afro-Latin, Andean, Brazilian, Calypso, Latin jazz, Latin pop, mariachi, merengue, norteño, salsa, samba, soca, tango, tejano, zouk. LatinFame.com, International Latin Music Hall of Fame, part of the New York and New Jersey Latinos Network. The site includes numerous articles, information on inductees and links to other Latin music sites. Members.tripod.com/RayOnKUNV, Ray's music page, Latin jazz and salsa radio show with Ray Arroyo on KUNV 91.5 in Las Vegas, Saturdays at noon. Site includes salsa events and a weekly playlist. Members.tripod.com/malinverno/index.html, the home of Latin House, a site dedicated to the burgeoning Latin house music market including record reviews and a message board. Latin band and artist categories and websites at cali.org/en/arts/music/styles/r/regional_ethnic/Latin/bands_and_artists. Subcategories: Afro-Latin, Andean, Brazilian, Calypso, Flamenco, Latin jazz, Latin pop, mariachi, norteño, salsa, soca, tango, tejano, zouk. lcmanagement.online.fr/html/luzmilacarpio.html, Carpio, Luzmila. Bolivian singer, general artist information, music, tour, releases, and press. ReverbNation.com/FortinLevely, FortinLevely. A pair of Latin guitarists creating a blend of music. Latin record labels at cali.org/en/business/arts_and_entertainment/music/labels/specialty/regional_and_ethnic/Latin. BarrioRecords.com, Barrio Records. Label in New England, USA representing Latin talent regionally, nationally, and internationally. CostaNorteRecords.com, Costa Norte Records. Independent label committed to the production of some of Honduras and Central America's best-known artists. BrazilianMusic.com, Mango Tree Music Productions. Brazilian music. Artists include Nene, Tutti Moreno, and Nino Liberal Kino. Find Latin music websites by category at musicamounts.org/styles/world/Latin. Subcategories: Afro-Latin, 43. Brazilian, 43. Cha-cha, 1. Jazz at, 19. Merengue, 4. Pop, 24. Salsa, 49. Tango, 11. Tejano, 40. Latin music websites at musicamounts.org/styles/world/Latin/links. Kfistereo.com, Kfistereo.com, Latin music site offering a monthly featured album to listen to online. NocturnoWeb.com, full songs and mixes of salsa, merengue, bachata and baladas in real audio. S-Latino.com, Samurai Latino homepage, a center of information about Latin music. Latin music magazines at musicamounts.org/styles/world/Latin/magazines_and_e-zines. Laritmo.com, it offers interviews, charts, news and reviews, also with streaming audio clips. LaMusica.com, a information-packed site with information about Latin music, artists, events, and record reviews. RootsWorld.com, Roots World, magazine of world music, Roots Music, music from around the planet. Latin record labels at musicamounts.org/record_labels/by_style/Latin/links. A1APRODUCTIONS.com, A1A Productions, Inc. Site includes catalog and audio clips of their merengue, bachata, and world music recordings. Acari.com.br, Acari Records, dedicated to coro, probably the most important genre of Brazilian instrumental music. BarrierRecords.com, Barrio Records, label in New England representing Latin talent regionally, nationally, and internationally. CalienteMusic.com, CalienteMusic.com, site of Caliente Records, Havana Caliente Records, Caliente Entertainment, and Caliente Music Works. CostaNorteRecords.com, Costa Norte Records, independent label committed to the production of some of Honduras and Central America's best-known artists. Cuba-Chevere.com, Cuba Chevere, Cuban-German company that produces Cuban music, includes company and artists information. Discosfuentes.com/eng/index.html, Discos Fuentes, salsa, merengue, and tropical music. Site includes catalog, company, and licensing information. Lumiar.com.br, Lumiar Discos and Editora, record label and publisher of Brazilian popular music, MPB, includes company and artists information. MRPmusicgroup.com, MRP Music Group, Canadian label for Latin music, site includes products catalog and company information. MamboCity.com, Mambo City Music Limited, New York-based salsa label specializing on recording new talents. SaberRecords.com, Saber Records. VelusRecords.com, Velus Records, independent Brazilian record label, specializing in Brazilian and Cuban music. South America music websites 1. AlfredoPereira.com, Pereira, Alfredo. Angelfire.com/tx4/Tejano Universe, Tejano Universe. Bugalalu.com, Boogaloo Productions. BREAKING_POINTAZ.tripod.com, Breaking Point. CalTJader.com, Tjader, Cal. DavidCedino.com, David Cedino and his orchestra. DCFlamenco.com, Flamenco in Washington, D.C. FlamencoHeron.com, Christina Heron Flamenco Foundation. FreddyOmar.com, Freddy Omar Conso Banda. GrupoFantasia.com, Grupo Fantasia. GuitarRon.tripod.com, Mariachi Educators Resource Page. HuntingtonArts.org/events. Hooten.org/fiesta_andina, Fiesta Andina. Inkazite.com, Kishwa Mashis. Karumanta.com, Karumanta Jamwiku. Kjilmar.com, Kjilmar Music. LatinJazzNet.com, Latin Jazz Network. LeeWatermanProductions.com, Jazz Caliente. Mamawana.com, Mamawana. Mamborama.com, Mamborama. Mariachi.org, Poro Mariachi. MarkTones.com, Towns, Mark. RichardGomez.com, Gomez, Richard. SambaGales.info, Samba Gales. SambasHouse.com, Samba shows Brazilian Samba Band. Socianews.com, Soca News. solarpassion.com/Latin/tango_music.htm, Argentine tango music and videos. Somosan.com, Samos Sun. South America music websites 2. TangoDJ.org, Tango DJ. TangoTales.com, Tango Tales. Tejano Gru Peronews.tripod.com, Tejano y Grupero News. TejanoMusicAwards.com, Texas Talent Musicians Association. TierraMusic.com, Tierra. TitoPuenteJR.freeservers.com, Puente Jr., Tito. TodoTango.com, Todo Tango. viva-brasil.co.uk, Viva Brazil Ltd homepage. Wildclam.com, Cecilia Noel and the Wild Clams. WilliamSepeda.com, Sepeda, William. Yarimore.com, Yarimore Wisoa Orquesta. South America Music Websites 3. alfredo-rolando-ortiz.com. andes.org/index.html. calabashmusic.com. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/category:south_American_music. eng.tango.info. indie911.com/directory/worldfolk/latinso-UTH-American. lonec.utexas.edu/la/region/music. lib.lsu.edu/music/southamer-ica. marcamusic.com. essayexplorers.org. samc.net. singers.com/choral/latinamerica and.html. southamericianway.com.